Good morning, happy Tuesday. Let's jump into our daily devotion. We're going to be in 1 Thessalonians chapter 2, verses 3 through 6. Our coming alongside you to encourage you was not out of some delusion or impure motive, or in an intention to mislead you. But we have been approved by God to be those who preach the gospel. So our motivation to preach is not pleasing people, but pleasing God, who thoroughly examines our hearts. God is our witness that when we came to encourage you, we never once used cunning compliments as a pretext for greed, nor did we crave the praises of men, whether you or others. Have you ever been unfairly accused of your actions, of your motives, of your heart? The English have a term called tall poppy syndrome. The poppy farmers would cut down any poppy that would be taller than the others, and sadly, unfortunately, this doesn't hold true to just plants. We experience people's criticism. There always seems to be someone who wants to tear us down, question our motives, question our heart, question our intentions. Sometimes they just simply resent a talent that we have or achievements that we seem to have achieved that would set us apart from others. I think that this can even hold true for just simply sharing the gospel, simply professing to be a Christian, a follower of Jesus Christ. Can bring such criticism, can bring such attacks of motives of our hearts sometimes. The reality is this: the goal of the accuser is to magnify the flaws of the messenger, right? We're the messenger, and we say, don't shoot the messenger. But the reality is the accuser wants to shoot the messenger. He wants to magnify our flaws. Therefore, the message or our vision, the vision of God that we would carry out, that would be brought to attention, and then it would seem as though it cannot be trusted, right? In this passage, we find that several charges were brought against Paul, right? That error or false teaching, sexual impurity, which seems like a weird one, but there were a lot of cults that used prostitution in the midst of what they were doing. And so deceit, flattery, and greed. In fact, it's a pretty brutal list. The crazy thing about the deceit, that word deceit had to do with in fishing, baiting the hook. No one, when you go fishing, you don't just throw the hook in with nothing on it. You disguise the hook. And this was a term that was used pretty heavily back then, and because there were a lot of different religions, and they would use something to bait or disguise the hook, so to speak, to get people's money. And so that was one of the things that he was being accused of. He explained every single one of them. He was able to combat and go against and plead his case and explain, his heart and his love for people. But the reality is when he went to Thessalonica, he experienced extreme hardship. He was incredibly mistreated when he first got there, but he persisted with spirit-empowered boldness, right? He was willing to persist because his commitment to sharing the gospel was greater than the concern for his own personal comfort. So today, I just want to encourage you to continue to be obedient to the call of the Lord on your life. You were not called to do things for the praise of people, but rather for the praise of the Lord. He has an assignment for you. He has given you gifts and talents. He has called you to do incredible, mighty things. And I just want to encourage you. There will be people that will accuse you of things. They will question your motives. They will question your heart and your actions. But as long as you're staying true to the Word, and as long as you are staying grounded in Him, and your goal is to please the Lord and to be obedient to the Lord, He will take care of those. Love well, serve well, and give well. Be blessed.